So, my friend put a tracking device on my phone. At first, I had no clue, but he kept sending me weird text messages. Anyways, just wait till the end when you find out what the police had to say about this. I'm 20 and a female, and my friend's 21 male, and we're home from college. We went to a different high school, but we were friends through clubs and extracurricular. We had a friend group senior year that we both hung out in. This friend group died off, but we have stayed somewhat in touch and see each other a few times each summer for lunch to catch up. Anyways, we were on the phone about 2 weeks ago and made plans to chill, grab pizza, listen to music. We were Snapchatting old friends, and he snapped some of them back through my phone. I don't think much of handing my phone to him to reply. I mean, I've even been friends with this guy for a while now, and we've hung out, so we're pretty decently close, I guess. The other day, he texted joking about how I need a better sleep schedule since I was up until 4 a.m. I laughed it off and said, yeah, I was up till 6 studying. I asked how he knew, and he just laughed it off and made a joke. Well, I didn't think much of it because I know Instagram and Snap sometimes shows when you were last active. Anyways, today, he texted me joking that I need to charge my phone. I was at 2%, and I was weirded out by how he knew that. Again, he just laughed it off and made a joke. I was like, WTF did you do? Share my location or find my iPhone? He said no and said he'd explain tonight, since we had plans to go grab food. I was kinda weirded out, but he kept joking. I check and find my iPhone and location and nothing is shared. I then realized that on Snap, he had ghost mode disabled and shared my location with himself. When I asked him about it, he denied it and did not admit to it till I sent a screenshot. I expressed how weird that was, but he was joking though and says, see you later. I've been ignoring his calls and texts since, and he's spamming apologies. So, I was talking to one of my friends, 21 female, it's our mutual friend, and she was way weirded out at first, but laughed it off. She says it's weird, but he was clearly just messing around. And I am being a major a-hole for blowing this up when it was totally harmless. And that I was being an a-hole for ignoring his calls and apology text, because he clearly did not mean it, since he's panicking that I'm mad. I'm not necessarily mad, I'm just totally weirded out, and feel like my privacy has been invaded the past 2 weeks. I don't know how to feel. What's up guys, Mr. Reddito here. This is a really weird story, completely creepy thing to do, basically internet stalking. Don't worry, there's an update on this. I just want you guys to know it's a complete update. If you're not subscribed to the channel though, take a second right now and click that subscribe button. The reason you want to do that, sometimes updates come out later after the video's posted, so I'll do an update later on. You do not want to miss out on that, so go ahead and click that subscribe button. Here is your update. Alright, I checked through my phone and my settings last night. Nothing else was out of the ordinary. This morning, I had a virtual meeting with Apple, and they virtually went through my phone, ran diagnostics on it, everything came up clean. They had me go to an in-store appointment and still did not find any malware or mirroring apps or anything like that. They said since I was around him when he had my phone and he never left the room with it, the chance of him downloading something super advanced would be slim, since he would have to hook it up to a physical computer. So it was only the Snapchat thing he did, which would also make sense based on his comments, as a few people mentioned. When your location is shared on Snap, the person it's shared with can see what you're last active on the app, and if your battery's under 10%, it shows your Bitmoji on the maps holding a charger or something like that. Regarding the guy himself, he hasn't contacted me today. I'd mentioned this in a few posts, but I'll add it here too. When I originally caught what he did, he initially said this, "I'm sorry, please don't hate me. You're making me nervous." Followed by multiple, "Oh, please," and some phone calls. all ignored around the time we were supposed to meet up. He called me a few more times and texted me, "Hello," and a picture of his dog saying, "Oh, I'll pay for the lunch." Again, I ignored. I still sort of expected something, like a long text considering he admitted to doing something wrong. Example, initial panic and apology, but no. Even if not an apology text, a chance to let him clear the situation, an explanation for his actions, him saying it's a prank, anything. Not even today. A part of me wonders if he's scared to text because he doesn't want to further incriminate himself. Hence the calling versus texting, but frankly, I don't care. Regardless of what he has to say or any reasoning, I just can't imagine being in contact with him again after this. Some people brought up the point of how a lot of people have their location shared and public to everyone, but I am not one of them. And for me, it's a bit deeper than that. It's more so the principle behind his actions. He had an intrusive thought to disable my privacy settings and acted upon those thoughts. Who knows what other intrusive thoughts he may act upon in the future, and what other boundaries he may cross in the process for the sake of a, quote, joke. He's proceeding to share my location with himself without my knowledge or consent, and kept it going for 2 weeks. But who knows how long he would have kept it on for. So this was a very creepy story. I'm going to top this creepy story with an even creepier story coming up next. But you guys be the judge of it. I want to know in the comment section down below which dude was more creepy. So drop that down there. The title of our next story that I'm talking about is an Am I the A-hole story. Am I the a-hole for installing a lock on my bathroom door after my brother-in-law kept barging in? Guys, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Here is your story number 2. I'm a 25-year-old female and my husband's 30. His brother, my brother-in-law, is 33 and moved in with us after his divorce a few weeks ago. The problem I have is that he started barging into the bathroom whenever I'm using it. He never knocks or anything. Another thing is, he only does this when it's me in the bathroom, not his brother. I told my husband about what I've noticed, but he laughed it off and called me paranoid. It was embarrassing because his brother would see me exposed, and it made me super uncomfortable. My husband said he spoke to him and he apologized, but he did it again. When my husband and I got married, we promised not to have locks on the doors of any of our room, so the bathroom did not have a lock. I was really considering getting a lock, and I let my husband know that if his brother walks in on me one more time, then a lock will instantly be installed. He didn't say anything. Well, yesterday, brother-in-law walked in on me showering. He knew I would be in the shower, but barged in claiming he needed to pee. I had enough. I went out and got a lock and installed it. Well, my husband got home, saw the lock, and blew up on me, saying I violated an agreement that I was a part of, and went against his wishes, being uncomfortable with locks in the house. He demanded I remove it and promised, and guaranteed, that his brother won't walk in on me again, but I refused. He's been mad about it since then and is giving me the silent treatment. A little info, I'm not close with my brother-in-law. My husband is, though. I don't even talk to him that much, and I barely even sat with him at any gatherings before he moved with us. Hey guys, Mr. Reddito here. So there's a small update for this creepy story, but I just want to ask you guys really quick, who do you think is more of a creep? This dude who always barges into the bathroom, or the guy from the last story, who basically put a tracker on OP's phone? Drop in the comment section down below who is creepier, phone guy or barge in the door guy. Here's your update. So, my husband came home and I told him the lock will not be removed till his brother leaves, and his reaction was try to remove the lock himself, and tell me to quit acting childish. What I did was not shout or scream, but pack a bag. I went to my mom's house for the next few days or so, till he gets resolved somehow. On my way out, I saw my brother-in-law in the driveway smoking. He knew what the argument between them and my husband was about, but instead of stepping up to fix it, he offered to take me to Mom's house, saying that my husband could use some space from me. This made me cry the whole Uber ride to my mom's. The reason I feel offended is because brother-in-law tends to be hurtful when he talks about others. I did all I could to win his approval, but he thinks less of me and thinks I'm childish, just like my husband says. Okay, so my opinion is the first story had the bigger creep. I mean, he was basically stalking OP, put a tracking device, invading her privacy, the whole shebang. The second dude was just a straight up weirdo, barging into a door, but the craziest part was that the fact that his brother was taking his side. Guys, let me know your thoughts and opinions on this one. Drop it down below. I don't know, it just seems like a toxic place for OP to be. Guys, tell me your opinions on it, and we're going to look to our final story of the day. How do I tell my sister her toxic marriage is why I don't hang out with her anymore? I'm 38 female, and I'm having trouble being there for my sister. She's 32, and I'm not sure how to tell her why. I'm about 2 years out of a 17-year marriage that ended extremely badly. We had issues throughout the relationship as well as a lot of fun. But the last couple of years, he was intensely controlling, abusive, and violent. And since he left, I've done a lot of work to recover and get myself in a healthy headspace. My sister went through a rough patch around the same time my divorce started. And I learned way too much about her husband during that period to ever trust him again. They've been together for years, and while he's never been my family's favorite, insufferable know-it-all, dominates every conversation, generally pretty annoying. We all just deal with it because she loved him and we're adults. But since their little rough patch, I haven't been able to be around him. During that time, he served her with divorce papers and told her he was going to take their less than 1-year-old baby away and never let my sister see her again. He convinced my sister she would lose in court anyways, to the point that her plan was to give up, sign all the paperwork he gave to her, and leave their baby while she moved out of state with our other sister. This all sounds bad, but my sister is extremely naive and also has the worst anxiety I've ever seen. She was convinced she'd lose their baby no matter what, and she was always so broken down she did not have it in her to fight. Anyways, she told me this plan and I successfully talked her out of it. Got her a great lawyer, and she was on her way towards accepting their divorce and rebuilding her life when he suddenly changed his tune, and they reconciled and have been acting like everything's just hunky-dory. During her eventually abandoned divorce, my sister was terrified of being homeless and not having anywhere to go. I was starting over too, so our plans was that I'd buy a triplex, and she and her baby could live in it in one of the units. Me in one, our little brother, and the third one who's 22. I went ahead with that plan and have just been renting out my sister's unit, and let her know it's there if she needs it. I cannot be around my sister's husband at all. I've seen behind the scenes, and I know he's abusing her emotionally, financially, and I strongly suspect physically too, although she's never admitted it. I'm aware that the right thing to do here is to support her decision, and grin and bear his company, but I just can't do it. I get that it's immature of me, but the situation's just too much, like my own marriage, and I will not be within 100 feet of it. I especially don't want him in any of my new home, which for 2 years has been a happy, healthy, peaceful zone. My sister basically won't leave the house without this man, because of her anxiety and also his control issues, and they are literally always together. She posted on Instagram a few weeks ago about being sad and confused about why her family never spends time with her anymore. I'd like to gently explain the situation to her, but I'm not sure how to tactfully say, it's not you, it's your awful abusive husband that we can't stand. Yeah, looking for advice on how to softly tell her I'm here if she needs me, but I am unwilling to be around her husband. Alright, so here's a comment for OP, a little bit of advice. When they're in a different phase and it feels the right time, you can make subtle hints about how certain aspects of their relationship is similar to what you went through. She might see it more if it's a neutral, oh, that's what James used to do. Eventually, it'll sink in that he's like your abusive ex and it might hit her. But until that time, just follow what the people in the comments are saying. Try to stay out of it as much as possible. What do you guys think of that opinion? Do you think that's a valid answer? If not, give your advice and your opinions down below. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you guys have an amazing day, and I'll catch you in the next one.